So now what you have is you have 1.13 billion people, but only about 2 million of those people hold the wealth for the whole country. You see? The rest live and walk on streets like this, and they live in houses like this, and their skin is dark, like these men here and these people here. You see? But that still leaves a few things unexplained. It still doesn't explain a few things. Why attack Mumbai? Why not attack the capital? Why not attack the capital and demand change? Well, to understand, go back to this. You see, let me tell you a few things. And let me tell you a few things about the European, or the European American, the Northern man. Let me tell you about him and his blonde hair and his dress coat, or his black hair and his dress coat. Let me tell you a few things. You see, when you tamper with the pocketbook of the Northern man, when you shake him up, when you rattle him, when you stir up his corporations and his federations and things that he has set in place for himself, when you mess with jobs that he has taken from his own country and put overseas, and you shake up the foundation of the various items and the various products that say made in China and made in India on them, then what happens is he will give you, he meaning the European or the European American, he will give you all the attention that you want. And don't you think that that's what the terrorists wanted? Don't you think that that's what their goal was? You see? Because now people are looking. Not even people. Now the world is looking. You see? Now the world is looking. If you have a hard time swallowing that, then let's go in this direction. I'll say it to you like this. Do you remember the fighting that took place in Kenya this past February? How much attention was paid to it? How much was it publicized? How much was it looked at? Or, even more recently, further to the north, and even more recently, do you remember the fighting that took place in Georgia? And that is still taking place in Georgia? How much attention was paid to it? How much was it looked at? How much was it analyzed and criticized, or not criticized for that matter? You see? Why? Because Europe and the United States don't have heavy amount of money. Do not have a heavy amount of money invested into India, into Kenya or Georgia. You see? And as for the fighting itself, it won't stop. It won't cease. Not until those Indians that have been educated, that have gone to schools such as Cornell or Harvard, return to their own country with the intent of raising their people for their own countries and therefore and for their own people's sake. When they grab each other's hands and say, let us go together as one India, not dark-skinned Indians, light-skinned Indians, Indians from the Asian side with slanted eyes. No. As one India. And come together. When the idea of beauty is not only women who look like this, but also people who look like this. You see? And as far as the animosity between India and Pakistan, well, to the citizens of India and of the rest of the world, I say this. Who was it that first began this animosity between Pakistan and India? Who was it that started it? Who was it that kindled the fire? Who was it? And to that, I say, you should study that for yourself. Research it for yourself. Find out for yourself. Who was it that started the animosity between Pakistan and India in the first place? Education, knowledge. Thank you for your time. And those of you that have taken the time, I thank you for listening.